Welcome to One in the Shibal with Susie and Ed.
We're just two Asian Americans talking shit about shit.
Well, now on a bi-weekly basis, which we forgot to tell you last week.
Surprise, we're not there, but we're here now.
But yeah,
it's busy.
Everything's been a little bit busy. So for the time being, we're taking this to a bi-weekly every other week. Of course, that could change in the future.
Bi-weekly, doesn't that mean twice a week? Bi-monthly.
No, when your checks are bi-weekly, it's usually twice a month. It's every other week. It's always confused me as well.
But bi-weekly,
yeah, I get it.
Twice a week.
I get it.
But it's bi-monthly because it's twice a month.
I know. Bi-weekly paychecks means every other week. So
English is so hard.
English is so confusing.
confusing.
It doesn't make any sense. I know.
But anyway, once every 2 weeks, you're going to get one of these gems where we try to figure out what the fuck is going on.
Which is crazy because on a weekly basis, sometimes we felt like we were like, oh my God, it was so soon. Like I didn't even do anything. So there wasn't even much of an update, which then we were like, should we get rid of the updates?
Right.
But then now I do almost kind of feel like because so much happened in the last 2 weeks, I'm like, we're catching up on like
every 2 weeks now, it's going to be like,
yeah.
So like last time I was just like, I don't know, nothing happened, and I don't. So we'll just see. We'll just kind of play it by ear. We'll just kind of wing it. Maybe we should do it every 10 days. That's weird. I don't know, you guys.
Every 10 days. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, who knows how long, So but yeah, a lot has happened.
Yes, so much. But let's start with how your week's.
Oh,
how
let's
have your
start
weeks
with
been?
yours.
Oh, no, same shit. Nothing. Just
what do you mean? You
parenting.
just said that your kids won an academic award.
My kids won their academic awards.
That's huge.
They were wonderful. They both also won sports awards for the end of their volleyball season, which is cool. And it's just Christmas. It's just the holidays, which is so fucking busy. Well, I guess that'll be consistent whether we go bi-monthly, monthly, weekly, whatever, is that I'm always just really busy. My kids' lives are so busy, and I just run around. And like with the holidays, like holiday parties, and the semester parties, the Christmas gift giving, and the secret Santas, and the the buying the gifts and the decorating the house, and it's just a lot. But it's been fun.
I get anxiety by proxy.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot. It is anxiety riddling, but it's fun. It's wonderful, and it's a magical time of year.
At least you don't have to do the elf this year.
Oh,
right?
I didn't think so either. And then my youngest was like, "Where's the elf?" And I was like, "Oh no." Okay, do you guys want to hear the most fucked up part of this? I hope she doesn't like accidentally like see this episode.
Not until she's way older.
So she goes, "Where's the elf? It's like the 7th." And I was like, "Oh, were you expecting to see the elf?" And she's like, "Yeah, doesn't it usually come on the 1st?" And I was like, maybe.
Since what age have you been doing it for her?
Since she was a baby.
Oh, okay.
I started when the older one was a baby.
Yep,
so like 3. So
I just wasn't sure
she's
how
always
long the elf has been around.
Forever. So the reason she goes, I mean, I know that this is another time she goes, I know that the Tooth Fairy and the Easter Bunny aren't real. I know those aren't real. She's like, but I know Santa is real. And I was like, why do you think that?
She's like, well, because one's a fairy and one's a talking bunny. That's obviously not real.
She said that she knows Santa is real. This is going to sound
because of the mall?
No, because he and I are mutuals on TikTok, and he has a verified account.
Yeah, you did that to yourself.
I didn't know that. So I have to be like, oh no, his name is just like Jeff,
Joe.
and he lives in like Arizona, or like whatever. He's not. He is a real man.
Yeah,
but he's not real Santa.
Right.
But how do I tell her that now? Because then she's gonna be like, well, is any of this social media stuff real? And I'm gonna be like, no. Yes and no.
It's confusing, right? Because it's either like you burst her bubble,
right,
or you wait until somebody at school bursts her bubble.
So I should be the one to control how she understands this new information sensitively and like whatever. But then she's gonna be like, okay, so like, what the fuck is this lie?
Right.
You don't think about it when they're like little babies and they're like 3-4 years old, and you're like, oh my God, this will be this cute thing. And I used to be so creative with it, or he's like skiing down powdered sugar, or he's like, making icicles in the freezer, like just such cute things. But you don't project 7 years into the future from there, or like whatever. And you're like having to tell them Like, they found out the Easter Bunny wasn't real because they're like, we just saw Dad running down the street after all the eggs got dropped off on the lawn. I was like, you got to be faster, dude. Like, too slow. They're like, where's Daddy going? I was like, great. There's that. So it's tough. And then also she has an older sister who knows the truth.
How did that happen?
Well, the older one is just inherently more skeptical.
She does come off that way.
Yeah,
yes.
she's much more skeptical. She's also very just like pragmatic, and she's very like, okay, let's make sense of this. She's just like, what the fuck? This elf just magically appears all over. Come on. But also, her friends, at around the age that the younger one is right now, which is like around 10, all started to be like, yeah, no, my mom told me that it's not real. So then that kind of starts to happen, and she's just like, I know it's not real. I know it's not real. I just let you do it because I know you enjoy it. I'm like, no, I don't. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Now you have to do it and make it magical for your sister. See you later. She's like, God damn it. She'll just like chuck it. And she's like, it's in the fireplace now. I'm like, no, you have to make it creative.
Yeah, see? It's impossible to not give your children trauma in some way.
It's impossible. It is impossible. But it's how you handle when they find out this information that matters.
Yeah. It's the magic.
Yeah, and you want it to be like this like amazing, mythical, magical moment, and like, those memories and core memories from when they're children or whatever. But then you got to break the news to them and be like, yeah, sorry, I've been lying to you for a decade.
But only because the holidays are meant to be magical. And,
right.
You're just like a arbiter of holiday magic.
I guess. I got to call Santa, though, or like DM Santa and be like, hey, so what do I do?
Like, can you send me a cameo video?
Yeah, that's what somebody told me to do.
Of you taking off the costume, please?
It's not a costume. I think that's why he's such a successful verified Santa, is because he really looks like Santa.
Oh, but I meant like the costume, and then maybe into like change
just
into
wear
like overalls or something, and be like, my name's actually Joe. Merry Christmas.
My name's Jeff. I live in Scottsdale, and just like,
really want him to be from Scottsdale.
I know. It's just the only thing that keeps popping in my mind. It's so weird. Des Moines, whatever, wherever. But it's a tough one. It's tough to navigate that as a parent. But anyway, and then they're just. I don't know what to do, because I want to be honest, but at the same time.
I'd
like
probably
to break her heart, like especially her. She's just so
I would
like
take the
sensitive.
passive route and just be like, I'm gonna wait for your friends to burst your bubble.
I'm waiting for her to ask, is Santa real? But she's so convinced that he is, she hasn't questioned it.
Oh, right.
So like when my older daughter was like, well, so is it real? I'm like, do you think it's real? And she was like, I don't think so. And I was like, okay. It's not real in the sense that he's not this like mythical person that arrives on Christmas Eve to deliver presents. No, the sentiment is real. The feelings are real. The joy is real. That is real. Making this fun is real. But he is not real.
But he
verified account or not
is us and our wallets and
now
accounts.
You. Yeah. Good luck. And then I was like, you need to make it magical for other people. That's once you know the truth, then it has now become your job to make it magical for others. And she's taking it in stride. I just don't know how to tell the little one. But she's 10, and I'm like, oh,
I'm actually surprised.
A little too
Sometimes
old for you.
She's like, meh.
I know, but I think she knows this one will really hurt.
That would be very mean.
So mean. Yeah. And she doesn't have that.
There's a difference between being like
bitchy,
bitchy mean to being like really cruel.
Yeah. She knows that would just cross the line for her. Yeah. And like, I don't know if their relationship would come back from that. So I'm like, yes, no, she did. Anyway, so how was your week? How was your weeks?
Mine was a little, I don't even know. Is
your mom still here?
Yeah, she is.
Oh, that's right.
She's currently in North Carolina visiting family friends.
Okay.
I have been getting better with my mom. I watched this video of this guy, which is weird, like right after we recorded the last episode, where this guy that talks about mental health. And there's been a couple times when like I'm going through something and then he makes a video and I'm like, am I the main character in this world? I was like, I don't understand what's happening. But he made this video and he was like, when your parents gave you trauma, he's like, it's something really hard to get out of. But he's like, you have to stop looking at it as like they owe you a debt. Because if you look at it like they owe you something, inherently they're going to lose.
Right.
They're like, you have to change that narrative. And that, I don't know if it was that analogy, but something it really clicked. And I was like, I really have to stop thinking that my mom owes me something. I have to keep remembering that, like, this is a circle of life. Like, you know, your roles change. So yes, I still got a little frustrated here and there, but I've been working actively to like, because it's like an exercise, right? It's like going to like basketball practice. You don't wait for the game to practice your shots.
Right.
So I'm like constantly throughout the day, just reminding myself to like do these things so that when frustration time comes, I can be prepared and, you know, exercised and all that stuff. But in that sense, it's been decent. The one time I did get frustrated at my mom was because I found out that one of my childhood best friends passed away.
Oh yeah, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, and like I'm like, I haven't.
What happened?
I don't know.
Oh no.
And that's like the tough part, because the only person I know to ask is his sister. I'm not gonna ask her.
Yeah.
You know, so
did you reach out?
Of course I reached out, because I only found out because she storied at his funeral, and I was like, I'm sorry, what?
Oh God.
You know, and it's just like really sad, because like their parents passed away. Like 10 years ago, their dad just suddenly passed away. And I think out of heartbreak, their mom passed away like a year after. So like they're alone, you know? And I don't know. It's just really tough because...
Was it just the two of them?
It is just the two of them. You know, they have other family, cousins and stuff like that, but their immediate family, their nuclear family, it is just the two of them. And you know, she got married. The younger sister got married. She has like a family and stuff, but like I don't think he's like in my boat, you know, like we just haven't found our thing yet or person yet. So it's like, I don't know. I have this like really bad feeling. I don't want to say it, but yeah, it's just really tough because I don't know. I guess like he and I lost touch, but I kind of always thought that like we would one day, you know, hang out again and like whatever. And, I started it was like really weird, because the first day I found out, I was like really numb. I was like, well, that sucks. Yeah. But like there was no tears, you know? And then the next day I started thinking about it. I started thinking about all the times we had together. And then I like realized that he like never judged me growing up, you know? And I thought about like how much that did for me. And then I started to get really sad that like I never got to return the favor. And like, I think that's the part that's been like crushing me. And like the last week, I kept being like, I need to make videos. But I was like, everything just feels pointless. I was like, it just feels pointless. I was like, what's the point of anything, you know? Not that I was in like a state, but I just was like, I just don't feel motivated to do anything. So yeah, I went through that a little bit.
I'm really sorry about that.
Thanks. Yeah. I just, you know, he deserved better. But yeah, I don't know if it was that, but then like on Sunday, I was just like in this like depressive state all week. So like, I think I lost track of the days.
Oh yeah. That's when we talked.
Yeah. So yeah, I told you. Yeah. So Sunday, I like all day Saturday, I thought it was Sunday, which meant that I woke up Sunday thinking it was Monday, which is fine.
I think that happened to everybody this week.
Yeah.
It's
that
really
happens
funny.
a lot
to my niece
people.
Too,
yeah. Except I went about my day like it was Monday. Like I went to record the podcast, and then I got there and I was like,
oh, the Radio Korea one?
Yeah, I was like, why is the garage closed? And I was like, something must be going on. And she started walking down and he was like, you know, able to open it. And I was like, yeah, I'm trying to go to Radio Korea. And then I also asked, I was like, but why is the garage doors closed on a Monday? And he goes, today's Sunday. And I was like, no, it's not. And I looked down at my watch and I was like, it says SUN. And then he just started laughing at me. And I was like, yep. I was like, I think I needed that. I was
just
like,
go somewhere else. Bye.
Yeah. But on top of all of that, it was also the 1-year anniversary of adopting Archie. So
Archie,
it's been a bit crazy.
That's so wonderful.
Roller coaster of a
Come here.
couple of weeks.
I was so happy you're here. Remember when when your dad asked me if he should get you, and I said, do it. Do it right now. Don't
No.
wait. Do it right
Remember
now.
when I tried to convince you guys?
Yes, you tried to pawn Archie off on me.
Yeah. I was like, there's this poor little runt and he needs to be adopted.
He's
and
still
then,
my dog too.
and then I was like, I adopted him.
I was like, wait, what? Isn't that supposed to be my dog? Archie, you're too small for my house. You'd get lost in my house. Not because my house is big, but because my other dogs would be sitting on him.
Yeah.
Well, happy anniversary, Archie.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary, good boy. Just a good boy.
I can't believe it's already been a year, though. That's crazy. Where does the time go?
Tell me about it. Like, I'm one of those moms now. Like, if I see a lady with the baby, and I'm like, time goes really fast, you know?
Oh, my God.
No, not like that. I don't do that, but
No, I know.
I like look at them longingly because like people used to say that to me. You know what I mean? They'll say, you know, the days are long, but the years are short. And I'm like, God, that is the fucking truest thing. And you don't know that's happening until it happens. You know what I mean? Like it's not until like retrospect that you realize like, man, that is the just truest fucking truism that there ever truthed.
Yeah, I watched someone's video where they were like, my dog turned 7 and he's starting to get gray hairs. I was like, oh my God, Colt's 5. I forgot that he's going to start getting gray hairs. I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
I can't tell on Huey because Huey's a white dog, but on Jilly, her whole muzzle is turning like salt and peppery.
That is the one thing I think about Archie. I'm like, thank God, I'm going to barely notice because it already looks like parts of your fur are going white. I was like, that's just your coloring.
And somebody said that it was just think of the salt and pepper as like the color that deposits from that you take away every time you give them a kiss on their little muzzle. I'm like,
all of that's sad. Yeah, all of that is sad. No,
I'm like, but this is my. She's just like, you know. Anyway,
the one greatest thing about having a white dog was that she did not look like she aged.
Yeah, he always still look like a puppy to me.
Yeah,
he's a bad boy though. He's so bad. Having a white dog when you wear so much black clothing is really a bummer, though.
It really is.
Sucks so much.
It really is, especially when they have pine needle hairs.
I know.
That dig right in,
just really burrow in there.
You can't brush it off.
No, I live just lint rolling.
Yeah,
just lint rolling constantly. But yeah, so much is happening in the world right now. Like, where do we even start? Let's start with the United Health.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's start with United Health.
Luigi Mangione is on everybody's lips.
And it's a bit of an older news, so we won't harp on it.
God, you know, you say it's older news. It happened like 10 days ago.
Yeah, but
that's crazy.
But with the social media, though,
that's the problem.
People talk about it so much,
in
such a small amount of time that it becomes old news so fast.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying old news as in like we're not going to talk about it or it's not important. I just meant like all the facts that we know are kind of out there, right?
Well, it's old news in the way that the way things just cycle out.
Yeah.
People like, you know, consume, and then move on. And that's kind of what's been happening. But
I did find it interesting that a lot of people, when they found this Twitter, were like, oh, he's right leaning. Oh, he's left leaning. And it's like, no, it kind of seems like he just believed what he believed. Like the majority of Americans and people, like most people are not extremists, right?
No.
They just believe what they believe. And they just, you know, then pick a side that they seem to align the most with. You know?
Yes.
But his was doing that because he was trying to...
we don't know anything.
Yeah, no, we don't.
We don't know
his actual intentions.
We don't know that he even did it.
Fair.
Right? So...
But the conversation happening here is the fact that it's no longer a left versus right.
It's an up versus down.
It's an up versus down, which is what politics has been this whole time.
Which I think is so... I think it's so timely that this is happening right now in conjunction with the TikTok ban, because I think everything has so much to do with, as we were talking about, like information and how we get it and how we receive it is really, really important. But I think what's really been highlighted for me in this whole Luigi Mangione thing is the difference between what I'm being fed by mainstream media as far as like what the narrative is and what his motivations were and who I should feel bad for and who I should feel sorry for versus what I see as like what people are really thinking and feeling is so apparent and obvious in this particular instance. And having TikTok being threatened to be taken away from us, which is also another huge thing that's happening in the news, having that also being taken away from us is like me being like, wait, so you really don't want me to see what is happening on the other side of this mirror. Yeah. Like, that's crazy.
Because the statistics are insane. Something like 90% of the younger generation get their news from social media.
Of course. And watching how CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, how they're all like delivering this message of like how people can be happy about this. Like this was a man, a father, he was a son and a blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you haven't mentioned one single person who has been negatively impacted by what United Healthcare has done and the statistics from them.
That's in the millions.
Right.
What about the over 1 million people who are grieving these 48,000 people or 68,000 people who are killed?
The mothers, the sons, the daughters, the children, the grandparents who have all been denied healthcare that they've been paying into. The worst part, okay, and I made this analogy to I said this comparison to my husband, and he's like, you probably shouldn't say that. And I was like, I don't care. Like the difference between what happened with Brian Thompson being gunned down in the street is that his death was quick and it was fast. And his family didn't have to stand there and watch while he was in agony for fucking months, if not years, and watch them slowly disappear and die.
Become a shell of a person.
When they could have been saved, when they could have had treatment, when they could have had so many different outcomes for that thing. That is the difference. And I think a lot of people aren't talking about like the families of people who've watched their mom dying of cancer because or having to ration her diabetes medication and slowly dying because she can't afford it. Like we're not talking about like or some people are, but we are talking about it.
The tone deafness of the media and like the executives has been wildly insane.
It's been crazy.
Because it's like, you're like, oh, you want me to feel sympathy for this one person who literally created systems that literally denied 90% of elders healthcare that was preventable in death. But we also shouldn't forget the literal people that we know who have been affected by this. Because the amount of people that die every year from preventable deaths means that the amount of people that knew them means that even if you don't already, you will know someone if it doesn't affect you or your direct loved ones. So like, you mean you want me to feel guilty for this one person knowing full well that people that I know and love died for no reason?
And even just beyond like the death of it all or like the suffering of it all, any family is one medical, catastrophe away from absolute, utter bankrupt, living on the streets. You know what I mean? Like that is crazy to me. Like a broken leg could send you into financial ruin as a family. Like that is something that we should be talking about. And the fact that like, obviously, this is so obvious. You shouldn't be gunning people down in the streets. Obviously. Nobody's saying that that is the right thing to do. But we're saying what has happened and the fact that this did happen has shed a lot of light onto a lot of people's current existence and what they have to endure because of the way the healthcare system is set up in the United States. And
no one's celebrating his death. We're all just saying, I don't care.
Right. The apathy. Well, and it's
I have zero sympathy for him.
Like, why are we supposed to feel this deep, sentiment for this man when, like,
to him, we're literally
just a number.
A death will equal what? $10 extra in profit.
We're just him getting out of him, raising their shares to like billions and billions of dollars. You know what I mean? It's like, how am I supposed to have any sympathy for that? How am I supposed to feel sad for somebody who literally created an AI program in order to help them deny
90%
claims?
90% elderly claims were denied because of this AI program. Not only that.
Yeah, you're going to die anyway.
Right.
Okay. Right. Okay, cool. Okay, so also like this happening in conjunction with what the recent shooting in Madison, Wisconsin is showing me is like the lives of these CEOs have so much more value. Look at how much we've been talking about the CEOs and not one person is like, it's not, I can't say not one person, but like the amount of people who are talking about this school shooting that was perpetrated by a 15-year-old girl is not garnering the same kind of sympathies or news. You know what I mean? Like the cycle for this school shooting will be over by tomorrow. Nobody will be talking about it.
Because who's to blame for the school shooting? Ultimately, the system, right?
Well, we don't know what this girl's motivation was. There's a lot of different speculations as far as, but that's the thing. Like people, I think are not as interested in that because, maybe not the people, but, it's so much more sensational to talk about a millionaire that has died and was gunned down in the street than it is to talk about a child whose life was, 2 children whose lives were taken, and a teacher whose life was taken, you know, because it just, I don't know, like they just put more value on the life of this CEO. I don't know.
I'm going to keep saying this, and it's going to sound really repetitive, but billionaires should not exist. Not until, at the very least, everyone is fed. Everyone has shelter. Everyone has access to healthcare. Until those 3 things are met throughout the world, billionaires should not fucking exist. Because money over lives, that's,
I don't understand.
That's not right.
What the thing that I really don't understand is, like, when is it enough? Like, why does Elon Musk think that he needs $400 billion? I can't even in my brain conceive of what $400 billion is. Why do you need that much money? What could you do in your lifetime? That would justify needing $400 billion. I can't even imagine what having $1 billion must be like. That's crazy.
I mean,
$1 million to me is like, that is so much money. That is, you know, like, what do you mean $400 billion?
I'm more terrified of what a white man whose family benefited from apartheid is going to want to do with $400 billion. A man who's benefited from apartheid, literally oppression and slavery, essentially, what he wants to do with $400 billion.
I just don't know. I just don't know what you could, like, maybe I'm just not hardwired that way. I don't think anybody is really. Any normal person, if somebody was like, here's $400 billion, what are you going to do with it? I'm going to hoard it all and I'm going to try to make more. I'd be like, oh, fuck, $400 billion? Everybody gets it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to do this, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. Even if I gave $1 million to every person on earth, I would still have so much fucking money. Why would you not do that? What do you need? What do you need with $400 billion? What can you even do with that? Like, what? I don't even know. What do you want to own? What do you want to own that you don't own already? That you need $400 billion?
People.
But why do you want to own that? Why do you want to own that? What are you going to fucking do with it, you weirdos? Billionaires are fucking freaks, okay? I'm sorry. You are a freak if you have billions and billions of dollars and you don't do anything good with it. I don't understand it.
There's no reason to hoard it. Jeff Bezos' ex-wife, she got like, what was it, like $30 billion or something?
She's like, fuck,
$40 billion.
Here.
She gave away $30 billion of it and then was still worth $40 billion because the valuation of fucking Amazon went up there after.
She's like, I can't give it away fast enough.
Right.
She seems like a really nice person, which is why she was probably like
$30 billion and still is worth like it
and made money
and was literally worth the same. Like, that's insane.
It's like Groundhog's Day. She just keeps coming back and there's more money. She's like, yeah. Fuck.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get rid of some of it.
Seriously. Like, I hear she has people who like literally finds people who deserve the money.
Yeah.
And I keep being like,
literally, if you could just stroke me like 10 grand, that would like really help.
Yeah.
I don't want a lot. Just, you know, just a little bit, you know? And like, I just, it really, it baffles me. It really makes me like, I think I understand humanity, and then somebody does something and I'm like, I don't get it at all. I just don't get it at all.
That's the thing is that like this thing is highlighting what I feel like a lot of us have, at least I feel like on the Democratic side, have been coming to a realization of that this whole two-party system is just bullshit.
Broken. Yeah.
Like, I no longer tell people I'm a Democrat. I feel like I never really did. I'm just a progressive, a liberal person, you know? But like, this two-party system is bullshit because all of it is a facade, because let's be real, they're all in the same bed together.
Yeah.
They're all in the same bed. They celebrated all the fucking all the terrorist shit that the United States is supporting, this imperialistic country is supporting, all the while, all to distract from the fact that they are making money while the rest of our fucking, all the rest of us fucking normal citizens are fucking struggling to fucking pay groceries.
Yeah.
And they come up with all these bullshit bipartisan topics to separate us, all the while they're all just getting richer. And that's what American politics is.
I haven't seen anything unify people in the way that this Luigi Mangione thing has.
I mean, if you look at Ben Shapiro's fucking comment section.
Crazy. I mean, I never thought I'd live to see the day where people are like, hey, I've been a MAGA supporter for my whole life, or, you know, forever. And now I'm seeing your true colors. Like,
hearing Ben Shapiro's followers and MAGA supporters be like, nope, this isn't a left versus right. In fact, I no longer believe in that shit. This is an up versus down. It always has been. I'm like, that's so crazy that the masses are finally getting it.
I know. I don't want to talk about politics anymore.
Which is even crazier because same but different thing is happening in Korea right now.
Oh my God. I really, so geopolitics to me, I get really overwhelmed. And even like Korea, obviously, like I should know more, but I was like, people are like, are you going to talk about it? And I'm like, what is happening? I don't even know what's going on. Like I didn't, you know, I don't live in Korea.
Sure.
So
I have opinions and stuff, but like, I don't feel like I know enough to educate people.
No, absolutely not. I'm learning just as much as anybody else is.
I'm actually watching those videos, educating myself, but it has come to light that President Yoon,
I know this
had
now.
This insane plan to essentially, which is the craziest part, is the fact that he demonized the DPRK, the North Korea, with the plan to then become a dictator who then ran South Korea basically until he died. So like all of that is mind blowing to me because like it just blows my mind.
Profound.
You know what I mean? Like what happened was like a lot of.
You tried to funnel in the thoughts and there was too many thoughts and they got congested and then they just stopped. You just roadblocked your brain. I know. I've done that before. I know exactly what you're talking about.
But like, you know, it came out instantly that, you know, while he sent all the people to the assembly, to like, you know, where the parliament was, he actually sent more troops to the building where they have all the election information. And while the rest of the military, it took them over an hour to get to that spot, when President Yoon declared martial law, his troops were there within minutes, which means that all of this was planned.
Right.
And he's claiming that he's like, there was election fraud because his election was really close.
It was like so eerily familiar.
It was like within a 1% less than a 1% margin that he won. So he was going in there claiming that there was like this election fraud and doing all this stuff while claiming martial law. And then his manifesto came out and it was like this like crazy long plan where essentially he said that he was going to try to create this wartime feeling so that he can then stay presidency during wartime until the wartime is over, which if any of us know, Korea has been in war since the Korean War. So for over 70 years now, which means that he was planning to just be a dictator.
And then the Korean people were like, fuck this.
No.
Absolutely fucking not. And the thing that I found the most remarkable is like how the Korean people protested. It was really incredible to see. And I was like, oh, this is a very inspiring, you know, show of democracy and like what it's supposed to be like. Oh my God. But even the simplest things of like how clean they were, how they kept it as nonviolent as possible.
Yep, they cleaned up after themselves.
People who were like not able to go to the protests were like, hey, I'm going to send $100 to this place. Go get a cup of coffee. It's really cold out.
Then they would call them and be like, once that $100 runs out, I want you to call me back because I will
refill it. I'll refill it. You know, and it was really incredible to see like how quickly, swiftly organized it was for the Korean people to be like, no, the people don't stand for this. And I think that was how and why it was so effective is like, you can't argue with that. You can't argue with, you know, this very like organized, you know, form of protest because it's not like, you're not giving it like they're just being violent thugs or they're just being, you know, whatever. They're looting and there's burning shit down. Like, yes, I understand that as well. Obviously I do. But this was like so efficient. It was so efficient. It happened, not even a week?
Yeah, it was actually
A.
really insane because the way that the American media actually portrayed what happened in Korea was actually really alarming, just like what's happening with Luigi Mangione.
Yes.
Because the type of verbiage and the stories that were coming out of this was eerily very similar to what happened after the Korean War, where they were trying to make North Korea look more and more evil, which I'm actually starting to come around to be a little bit more pro DPRK, not pro Kim Jong-un.
Okay.
Not pro Kim Jong-un, but pro the people of North Korea. You know what I mean?
Stop the video.
Yeah. Not pro Kim Jong-un, but I'm starting to start to see how some of the narratives that the US has said about North Korea is very imperialistically a lie. And the type of the need for military usage and how North Korea is a danger while all this was happening was really alarming, because that's the kind of shit that they were saying after the Korean War that made the split, and the fact that we are still in war. That's the reason why that happened, because all of this is beneficial for the US.
Right, of course.
You know,
strongholds in parts of Asia.
Yeah. Let's not get it twisted. The US is a very imperialistic country. The way that we operate outside, it's insane. But the part that really bothered me about this, which is something that I've been crying about for a while, is the lack of connection between Koreans and Korean/Asian Americans, because it's not just Koreans. All of Asia has a history of going up against oppression and taking it down.
Okay.
So why is there a lack of connection between the solidarity amongst Asians in Asia and fucking Asian Americans in America, where we do not come together to fight the oppression that we are clearly facing in this country? And I wonder if it has something to do with psychology of the fact that our ancestors who came to America essentially fled. They essentially were between fight or flight. They were the fighters.
I'm trying to still understand what the question is.
Why there is such a disconnect between...
Are you saying the connection between Asian Americans and their Asian home countries, or you mean among us in America?
Solidarity-wise. Why is there such a lack of coming together amongst Asians in America like Asians do in Asia?
You mean with each other?
Yes. Why do we not support each other? Why do we not?
I thought you meant like supporting Korean Americans supporting Koreans in Korea. You're talking about Asian Americans and Korean Americans supporting each other in America.
Like when Young Yang died, why did no fucking Korean Americans come out? Why did we not protest the way they protest in Korea? Why do we not do these things to better our lives here? And there's a part of me that wonders, is because the majority of immigrants fled. And it's that mentality.
Well, yeah, that too, but also we are the vast minority here as well. So going out, you know what I mean? So I think that finding solidarity when you are the grand minority is difficult.
But isn't that more reason to be solidarity?
Of course. I'm not saying that it's not. I'm just saying that that's probably what people and why people are less inclined to do it.
Because that same sentiment happened in Korea. Because Netflix is just about to release Squid Games 2, right? And because Squid Games 2 is about to premiere, they did a huge premiere in South Korea, in Seoul. And they sent a whole lot of Asian and other influencers in general. But of course, they also selected a lot of Korean American influencers who went. And it really bothered me. It really bothers me that they're there. Oh, God. That they're there supporting this fictional story about classism and oppression, while there is a classist and oppressive war happening in Korea, as well as in the United States. And while you're attending the premiere in a country, in your home country, motherland, where the actual real life events that actually inspired Squid Games, like in the past, all the oppressive stuff in the Korean citizens being able to uprise and overthrow oppression is what Squid Games was based on. So to witness that happening there and then only go to the premieres and not take part in any of the protests or the impeachment process really fucking disappointed me. It makes me so emotional. It breaks my fucking heart, because this is a reason why we are fucking oppressed here.
Right.
Because we take a passive role. We say it's not going to be us. It's some other fucking Asian asshole that's going to, whatever. And that's the reason why we're fucking oppressed. We have no one to fucking blame but ourselves, because we Because who else is going to tell the fucking rich assholes to fuck off?
Right. Also, why weren't we invited?
Because
we
would
have been problematic. Yeah. We would have been like, we're not going to go to the premiere. We'll be down the street.
Yeah. Because apparently, doing Asian accents to make non-Asian people laugh
here we go.
Is not problematic, though. So.
God, that pisses me off. I have them all fucking blocked. I'm sorry.
For those of us who fight for the Asian community, apparently we cause too much trouble and too much waves. But for the people who appease the Asian culture for white audiences...
But that's ironic because that's what people say I do. And I'm like, what? God, whatever. I'm not going to get into that. But yeah, I think people who, like if doing an Asian accent and imitating your mom and, pretending to work at a nail salon is like your thing and that's, fucking paying your bills, like whatever. But just know that it is just further oppressing us and it is further driving the narrative, further stereotyping, Asian people.
And if anything,
and then you benefit
from it
by going to the fucking,
It benefited from money too. And I don't think they also understand that by doing so, by choosing to oppress your people with an accent just so that you can make your life better for yourself, you are quite literally creating a class rift. You are literally defining yourself as I'm better than you. And just like motherfucking Brian Thompson, you're willing to put a detriment to the rest of other people for your own fucking benefit.
He's calling you out. I like it.
So, yeah, do better.
Yeah. I mean, who knows what reasoning they would give, for not doing that. But I'm surprised. I'm really surprised that they wouldn't at least, I don't know.
I don't know. I did try to humanize them. I was like, maybe Netflix wouldn't, but I was like, no, that makes so much sense. If I was there, I would have made that video. I've been like, I went to the premiere, but you know what's crazy? Do you know what's crazy is that this is actually happening in Korea and in America.
It's very much a life imitating art and art imitating life moment. Like if even just from like a content basis, that is incredible content.
That's what I'm saying. From Netflix, I'd be like, yeah, I literally just made people be like, hey, you think what's happening in the world is crazy? Yeah. Let's just all project that energy into the show.
You want to see a fucking promo for your show about class war? Okay, great. Here it is.
So then in my mind, I was like, no, maybe Netflix didn't say it. Maybe they're just all being cowardly because they're scared of whatever it is or whatever. I don't know. You know what I mean? Or maybe I was like, maybe Netflix gave them such a packed schedule. I was like, no, because I would have been like, I'm just going to sneak away for 40 minutes.
I don't need to go do this fucking dinner.
Yeah, I'll just go, even if it's just for like an hour.
Right.
I need to be there. Like, I have to be there.
I know.
Like, in fact, I was like so jealous of people who went.
I know.
Like, how the fuck did you get on a plane so fast?
It's just so crazy too. It's like, are we so controversial that we wouldn't get invited to something like that?
Oh, I just meant like the people who flew to Korea.
Oh, I know.
For the impeachment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was like jealous of those people. But yes. There was a little part of me that I was like, bichosa.
I didn't want to go to your fucking thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll be honest. I haven't even seen Squid Games. So the anxiety, I told you. I don't like watching Korean people suffer.
You did. It's just been a while, so I forgot.
Yeah, lives at the top of my brain.
Which is funny because I made my mom watch Squid Games right before she left for North Carolina.
You said North Korea.
Yeah, I almost did.
Like your mom went, what?
North Carolina.
There's so many layers. What's happening?
Because I was like, in my head, I was like, Squid Games 2 was going to come out right after Christmas, and I was like, I'm going to have to watch it.
I guess I should watch Squid Games.
Might as well just watch it with my mom. So I was like, you have to watch Squid Games 1 first.
Okay, I'll watch it.
And she finished it in 1 day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I started it for her in the morning, and then I went to Radio Korea to record, and I came that night, and she was watching something else, and I was like, oh, you didn't like it? She's like, no, I finished it. I was like,
oh, shit.
Finished it?
All right, I'll watch it. I'll watch it.
It's pretty good.
I hear it's amazing.
It's amazing. And it's just so relevant.
Yeah. Especially now.
But yeah, eat the rich.
Oh my God. They're probably very gamey.
Or really fatty.
Yeah, super fatty. Like those geese, the foie gras geese.
That's inhumane.
I know. I don't eat it.
But
anymore.
Yeah.
I didn't know. But when you know, you do better. Hi, come here.
Unless they're foie gras fries.
Once I found out what it was, I can't do it. But I don't want to talk about that. Hi.
Oh man. Do we want to do write-ins?
Your fatty liver tastes like anyway.
Yeah.
Smaller ones. We covered everything, right?
Yeah. And then some.
Oh, the one person who wants their name said, I don't know how to pronounce it. Cool.
Junko Samson?
Junko? You think that's right? Junko?
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 Yeah.
All right, we have a couple of quick write-ins.
Yay.
The first is from a listener. They wrote, hi.
Sorry.
They wrote...
Sorry.
I think you should leave that in. They wrote, hi, I just watched the TikTok from November 21st, the Chinese. You mentioned the flying fish in Seattle. I loved hearing this. My husband is part owner of Pike Place Fish.
Cool. Maybe we'll come up to Seattle.
And is proudly half Korean and half Filipino. I did not know that.
That's cool.
Yo, the fact that a wet market in America is owned by an Asian person is fucking amazing to me. Oh my God, I can't wait to tell white people that. I thought you would enjoy knowing there is cultural connection. Oh, it's like you predicted.
Yeah.
You just watch it, just enjoy it. I am fortunate enough to have a strong Korean mother-in-law who taught me about the Korean culture and is one of the reasons I started to follow Suji years ago. I started following this account as soon as it showed up on my For You page. Thank you, Suji, for making such important and relatable content. Apropos of this particular TikTok, I am Japanese American, so thanks for standing up for Japanese culture. If you are curious about who my husband is his name is Sammy, and he very rarely shows up on the Pike Place Fish Market page. He's worked there for almost 40 years and hates being in the limelight. Just look for the middle-aged, quote, crossover Asian-looking guy. I appreciate you both. Take care, and I am so sorry if I'm not saying this correctly, but Junko Samson.
Thanks, Junko. I loved this, and I'm so glad to know that part owner of Pike Place is Asian.
Asian-owned. That's amazing.
Fascinating. Makes a lot of sense, though. I mean, I would imagine that is...
Because every time people are like, oh, the wet markets in China and other third world countries, I'm like, did you ever go to Pike Place in Seattle?
They'll literally throw a tuna at your face. Like, what are you talking about?
And instead of going gross, everyone's like,
oh my God, it's so quirky and aesthetic.
So I was like, so what's the difference here? What's the difference? Oh, location.
What could be the difference? Well, I would say the Asian people that work there, but not anymore because we know that Sammy's over there, seldom, but, still there sometimes.
Seriously, Junko, thank you for this gem because...
It's very validating.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Very, very validating.
Just going to fold that up and put it in my back pocket.
Yep.
The next one we have from someone who wrote, my partner, who's 30 years old, and I, who's 29, met 8 months ago and have recently said, I love you. I love our relationship. Nice. I love my partner. There's just one thing.
Uh-oh.
His parents only want him to date and marry a Chinese girl, and I'm Black. For backstory, his parents immigrated here in the 90s. They are extremely verbally abusive, so much it drove his older sister to move across the world to get away from them. My partner was in a 6-year relationship with a non-Chinese woman, and when the relationship ended, his parents were over the moon. Now that we have been together this long, I will eventually have to meet his parents, but at the moment, the only thing they know about me is that I am American. I'm really, really nervous about meeting them because I know I'm already set up to fail as I am not Chinese. Any advice would be greatly appreciated. Love listening to you both. I hate hearing stories like this because I watched this play out on 90 Day Fiancé repeatedly.
Sorry.
I know. But I watch this very similar scenario play out in 90 Day Fiancé similarly all the time, where these cultural people bring an American, and there is a lot of times with religious issues too, there's this huge issue of this joining the family, the culture melding and all that stuff.
There's really no way to go around it or anything that you can do, right?
Not you, your partner.
His parents already have their mind made up. And no matter what, you're never going to be Chinese. You know what I mean? So as far as I'm concerned, you have to just kind of, go at it like a freight train. You just have to go in and be like, this is what's happening. And if, it's going to it has nothing to do with his parents because ultimately you're in the relationship with your partner. And that is what will dictate how you go forward, right? So if your partner's like, well, my parents don't like it. Okay, well, what does that have to do with us? How is that going to impact our relationship? And for me, if it meant so much to me that I be with somebody and they didn't stand up for our relationship? And for me, what is that relationship?
Yeah. So like, for instance, I watched an episode yesterday of 90 Day Fiance.
Do they still make new ones?
Yeah. They have like 6 different spinoffs. It's so...
Yeah, you know, I'm
thriving.
judging it. I've never seen one episode, so I don't.
It is.
I don't want to
It is.
judge it.
It's trashy TV, but I watch it because it is such an intriguing look into the human condition
Okay.
and how all that works.
Uh-huh.
But there was an episode last night where this, American girl went over to Jordan, and she's meeting with this like family, this Jordan family, and Jordanian family, and the father. She's meeting the father. The first 2 things he says to her is, "You look chunky."
Whoa.
"And you look tired."
Oh.
And she just sat there.
Like, yeah, I just ate a huge meal. It was exhausting.
Yeah. And she just sat there and she just goes, "Oh." And the conversation devolves quickly to the point where she has a panic attack and she leaves. And then her boyfriend afterwards is like, "Why did you do that? You messed up the chance to like make a good impression on my father." And it's like,
oh, what?
Bro. You did nothing.
What?
You just sat there and allowed your father to abuse your girlfriend,
that's exactly
and
what I'm
you're
talking
wondering why. You know what I mean? So that's why I say there's nothing you can do. It's on your partner.
Of course.
It's his responsibility to like not scold, but like to like parent his parents and guide them and like
It's time to draw boundaries.
Yes.
Listen, I don't like that you said this to my fiance, girlfriend, whatever. If it ever happens again, we're not going to be able to have a relationship, or we're not going to see each other for a long time, or I'm not going to take your calls, or whatever the boundary is. You have to make it. It's not up to the partner to make that kind of assertion to the parents. What do they get? They'd be like, all right, well, fuck you then. I don't want to talk to you anyway.
Right.
But what's at stake is their relationship with their child. And if you say like, listen, this is the person that I love, and this is an important relationship in my life, and if you can't support me, and at the bare minimum, not be abusive and be insulting to them, if that is the bare minimum that you cannot do, then I cannot continue to have this relationship this way. And if you are unwilling to do that because your relationship with your parent is more important or whatever, then fine. Then that is for me now to make a decision.
Correct.
Over, like that's fine. My whole thing with my relationships, and with my husband is like, if I don't have all the correct information and I don't have the knowledge to go forward, I cannot make an informed choice. Correct. And if I can't do that, then that is a disservice to me. Yep. So if you give me all the information, I can then make my own decisions. But until then, I can do nothing, and if you're not going to if you're not going to be given the information to say like, hey, I don't want to stand up to my parents, then you cannot make an informed decision on what you want to do next. And that would be where I would draw the line. Be like, I need to know, what have you said to your father in relationship, or your mother? Even
before the meeting. Because if he wants this relationship to be successful, he should have been prepping your parents
months ago
when you first started dating, when he first started thinking she could be the one.
Right.
Even before that, because like
all they know about you is that you're not, is that you're an American. That's all they know. That shouldn't be the case. If you're the relationship in again, this is from a 2 paragraph fucking, message. But if his parents don't know how kind you are, and if his parents don't know what you've done in the last 2 years in your career, if his parents don't know what your hobbies and interests are, then I don't know. What is it that you want from his parents? You know what I mean? Like he has to be very active in making sure that if this meeting is to go well or favorably at all, he has to set the stage already. Yep. Like she's American. That's all you need to know. No.
Like for a very similar situation, when I was younger, my mom was very adamant that I was going to marry a Korean person one day. And when her younger sister married a white guy, I remember one time we were walking to the grocery store and she said something about it. She was like, one in the family is enough. She was saying that to me. And I was like a child at the time. You know what I mean? And throughout the course of the years, I kept prepping her because in my mind, I was like, the likelihood that I marry a Korean girl, because at the time I, 1, had internalized racism. But 2, I was living in an area where there just wasn't that population. Yeah. So I was like, the likelihood that I'm marrying a Korean girl is very unlikely. And I had those conversations with my mom in high school. And I started to tell her, I was like, realistically, like, do you care that I'm happy or do you care that I marry a Korean girl?
Right.
Because like I can be single looking for a Korean girl till I'm like 60.
Right.
I was like, or I could fall in love tomorrow and marry someone and be happy. I was like, which one do you want? You know what I mean? So like even then, and then I've had, girlfriends of other races, that I thought were potentially could be serious.
Right.
And I've had conversations even before I knew it was serious of how do I prep my mom? I called my aunt to be like, hey, how do you think my mom would take this? What do we do? And like, you know what I mean? So like, if he cared, if they care, they should do the work to make sure that your relationship is set up for success. And if they're not putting in that work, then that's just, I think it's just like a small foray into how your life is going to be.
And also, let's not glaze over the fact that you are Black and that there is a lot of anti-Blackness in the Asian community. Mm-hmm. And that in and of itself is going to likely be an obstacle for your relationship as far as his parents are concerned. Like if they're already like, we don't want him to marry anybody but a Chinese person, knowing how there's so much anti-Blackness in so many Asian communities, let's just be honest. It's not going to make it easier. It's not going to make it easier. So the fact that he is already not being like, listen, what's he going to do? Just what's the word? When you
swipe?
No.
Push?
No. When you
guide?
When you do something like to somebody and they're not expecting it.
Surprise?
What the yes, but a different word for that.
Catch them off guard?
See what happens? Perimenopause, it eats your brain.
Oh, I had the worst brain farts yesterday.
What are you going to do? I keep saying sideswipe, but that's not what I'm looking for.
Juke?
No. Like when you drop a bomb on somebody or like you... No. See? Oh my God. Please take this part out. When you like surprise somebody in a very like... Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Like, oh my God. Like, you know what I mean? Synonym for surprise?
Catch off guards.
It's a sports term.
Check?
No. Okay, let me go. Like, what is he going to do? Just like surprise the parents with like, a Black woman? You like, I mean, already like you have to be aware. Curveball. No. Like you have to be aware of these kinds of things because they exist. So he has to lay the groundwork for what is already going to be an uphill battle and like prepare the parents for not just the boyfriend.
Girlfriend. She is Black and he is white.
Okay.
Or Chinese, yes.
Prepare them for what is going to transpire in this meeting. Like you're setting up for failure. You are already he's already decided this is not going to work because they're going to hate, all of this. So to not prepare it is already setting it up for failure.
Right. The whole basis of a good, successful relationship is someone who cares enough to make sure that you guys are watching out for each other, right? Like that's essentially what a relationship is. Someone that you choose that you're like, we're going to look out for each other until the day we die.
Right.
And if that person is not looking out for you to set you up for success, like I said, it's just a quick glimpse as to what your whole relationship is going to be.
Right.
Because no matter how racist or ignorant or how stupid or whatever the parents may be, it is up to the partner to shield you and guide the parents in the right way and put those boundaries, like Susie said. So if they're not doing that, you deserve better. So I would go to this. I would have a chat with him before the meeting and how the meeting goes.
No, not before the meeting. Now.
Yeah, that's
months.
What I meant.
No, I mean, like, who knows when they're ever going to meet?
Yeah, that's what I'm. Before you meet,
Yeah.
I would have the conversation with your boyfriend, and then if you do choose to meet the parents, I would use that as a guide to be like, kind of like a interview, maybe not an interview, but like I don't like to use the word test, but you know what I mean, like to see how he is, to see if he is someone that you think would be good enough for you.
Right.
That was a very conflated way to say that.
It's not going to be. Why can I not think of that term?
All right, one last one is an Am I the Asshole from a write-in. They wrote, hey guys, love you so much, by the way.
I love you too.
Love you too. Keep anonymous if you can, of course. Context. When I was in high school in the UK, I was bullied a lot by teachers, students, and everyone. And I just kept trying to keep to myself when I was in year 9. So I was about age 14, 15. I got put into the care system and I got bullied because of that. And I didn't know how to get information out.
Is the care system like the foster system?
I think so.
Okay.
Turn to find out that a teacher actually said it is a class full of students. I wasn't in the class, so I wasn't sure how that went down. But I remember getting bullied for the fact that I have no parents. Now I'm currently 17, still in the care system.
Oh.
So to the actual, I do like care system better than foster system.
Me too.
So to the actual story, so I moved away from everybody that I knew, family, friends, etc. And I wasn't very happy about that. I got told quite a while ago that my mom had passed away. Obviously, that wasn't the case as I woke up to this random morning with a message from her saying how much she missed us and things like that. And I was like, you're supposed to be dead, mate. And you're not. I'm sorry. I'm just laughing at the way that was written.
You're supposed to be dead, mate.
Yeah, it's so UK coded. They even wrote mum. Like,
oh,
M-U-M.
yeah.
So I go to school and I'm already not very happy. And they remove me from the SEN room. I don't know what that is. And I'm already in floods of tears and crying and not living my best life. And I kind of black out because I can't remember most of this, but my friends do. So I tried to go to the SEN room and they physically did not let me in. So I've got autism and ADHD and anyone's allowed in there, but I think it's like a special
education
or something. Yeah. Anyone's allowed in there, but if I had to have a special pass, I would have it. Anyway, I try to go in and the teacher is fully blocking me. The teacher had issues with me before. Thankful to know he has been fired. Skip a long story short. That's a funny turn of phrase too. I asked him about 5 times quite politely, can you please move out of my way? He doesn't. And then I ask him a few more times, not so politely. He still doesn't by this point. There's a full crowd behind me, so I moved him. He's fine. But I did kind of chuck him into the wall. I was a big kid then, and a lot of things was obviously going on at home. But I still feel guilty about it. So am I an arsehole? I don't know. Let me know.
What?
That story was a little all over the place.
It was a little all over the place. Well, I think they wanted to give context as to like their mental state and like just kind of how they.
Yep.
Well, I mean, no. If somebody's blocking your way and you are trying to move and they are physically making that so that you can't do it, sorry, chuck to the wall it is.
Yeah, especially
get the fuck out of my way.
Especially if you're having a very obvious crisis. I mean, the way that you described it seemed like you visibly were having a crisis. And for a teacher not to allow you access into a room that would help you.
Well, also, like, you can verbally say, like, I'm so sorry you cannot gain entry into this room for the following reasons, or like, I need you to go to this room instead, or like whatever. Right. But just like standing there and blocking my way, you cannot just roadblock me. Yes. Like, I'm going to get in there one way or the other, and you're not giving me a good reason why not. Right.
Especially because I think a lot of teachers forget that, like, your job isn't to be a security. Your job is to be a guide.
Yeah. So again, chuck to the wall it is.
Yeah.
No, you're not the asshole. I mean, look, I don't love when people get like physical, but if you are physically impeding my ability to go somewhere and I have no recourse other than to physically move you out of the way.
Essentially, you're just matching your obstacle or the energy, right?
Get the fuck out of here.
Gotta move them.
Bye, Chuck.
It's like, you know, the way I look at it is like when you're at Costco and there's people who just like stop their cart in the middle of the fucking walkway to go get a thing. Yeah, you just push it.
All right.
Push it. You don't push it into someone or push it angrily, but you push it out of the way.
I'll push it angrily. Very passive aggressive. Very like, ugh. No, I'm just kidding. Well, I usually am like, sorry, excuse me. I'm so sorry, excuse me.
Yeah, same.
I just had to move it like an inch, sorry.
Or just make these faces. Yeah. When people just cut you off and then just stop and they're like,
kill you.
I'm not going to yell at this
internal
old little
rage.
lady. I'm not going to yell at this old little lady.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah.
What?
Mental health.
I'm still struggling with not being able to figure out that phrase. Okay. I'm still thinking about it.
You can't think of the word. I really.
It's like, what, like, so I'm the term is like, you're just gonna like shock them with that. Like, but I feel like it's a sports term, but like football specifically, but it's probably not. It's probably not. But that's why I can't come up with it, because now I'm thinking about football and I don't know enough about football to think about it. Like, you're just going to
tackle,
drop that information on them. You're just going to no. Like
touchdown.
Like, it's like a shock, like a play that would shock them.
Hail Mary?
No. Oh my God.
If you know what word Susie's talking about, let us know in the comments.
This is going to drive me crazy.
Shock. If you're just going to flabbergast? No, that's not a sports term. A whammy?
Like drop the bomb on them is like kind of like the like another way of saying it.
Drop this bombshell. Blindside?
Yes.
Oh my God, was it really Blindside?
Yes.
That's why you were thinking football,
yes,
because of the movie. Because of the movie. Yes. Oh my God.
But isn't it blindsiding it? Like when you blindside someone, that's not a football term?
That is exactly what that means.
Oh my God. Thank you. I feel okay, so I'm not crazy. Yes. That was so satisfying.
Oh, that was so satisfying. We have it on camera. Yes.
Blindside. See, that's why I kept saying sideline.
Yeah,
something like that. Like it's a football term. It is a football term, right? Oh my God.
But mostly not as often used, but I do. The movie is called Blindside.
No, but there's a play. Like
there is.
Like plays would be called like Blindside or like whatever. Like you're on the blind side of. Okay. But is that term now? With the word blind in it, I don't know anymore.
Well, on that note, thank you for joining us for another episode of One in the Shibal Bi-Weekly.
That's a great name.
It's not our actual name. Make sure you find us on our socials.
You can find me at Sujio1 on TikTok for now and Instagram.
And Lemonade.
And Lemonade and Blue Sky and Fanbase and YouTube. I just did it so I could hold the name. Instagram for sure. I just did it so I could hold Sujio1 because I don't know what's going to happen with the world. And I don't know if I want anything to happen. I just want somebody else to have it. That's all.
TikTok. Yay. You can find me at Etch-a-Sketch on everything. I don't know about all of those, but some of those.
I don't even know what some of them are.
Yeah. You can find Archie at Archie and Cole on Instagram. You can find the podcast at One in the Shibal. That's Shibal. If you would also like to write in, am I the assholes? Questions, whatever, cuss us out. I don't know.
Please
write us at One in the Shibal.
Sensitive.
Shibal@gmail.com. Otherwise, if you're listening to this podcast and some of the parts were a little bit quiet and annoying, we're sorry, but there is a video version available on YouTube. But if you're already watching that version, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell.
Ding.
Ooh, that was ASMR, huh?
Yeah, you guys like that? You like that? Oh, you like that?
Oh my God. Wait, did you watch those videos of the men who've been doing that recently?
No.
They're like, if men did Home Depot hauls and they're all wearing nails on their thing and they're just tapping everything. And I was like, that's genius.
It's like a hammer.
Yeah. And the one, he even like can't stop laughing at himself because he's like, this is so silly. I loved it. But otherwise, thank you for joining us. Make sure you, whatever. Thank you. Bye.
Oh, okay. Bye.
Okay, bye.